You are on Messy in the Middle with Jeanie, and I am Jeanie, and I feel like, life is sometimes messy. So I am talking today about dealing with feeling like you've been betrayed by a friend. I know that most of you have probably felt that from time to time. I know that I have felt that quite a few times in my life. Um, I, my message last week about mental health. Sometimes it's really hard to support good mental health when there are things happening around you that are not in support of your mental health. Um, I have the pleasure of being in a position that I really love and being able to do what I really love. And it turns out that someone that I really trusted is disingenuous at best and working to manipulate and sabotage me at the worst. And I can't say that either one of those things is an exaggeration. And in fact, what makes me really sad is I feel like that is not even the half of it. I know that not everyone can be trusted. I have learned that plenty of times in my life. And I have, for whatever reason, not learned my lesson and have found that I desire so much to connect with people and have good relationships with people that am I'm still consistently stunned by how evil people will be. And I have such good people in my life. So many people that I value so much, and I don't know what I would do without them in my world. They are those people are the very reason that I continue doing what I do, and the reason that I continue trying to take the high road and trying to do the right thing. And I'm not perfect and I make my errors, but truly at the core of who I am trying to be good and kind and supportive and loving and genuine. It is disheartening when you find out that somebody you thought you could trust, somebody who you valued, who you thought was a friend, somebody who you laughed with and shared hugs with and was you celebrated with and you cried with and you really enjoyed having them in your life. And you really felt for a while that your life was better because of them in it. To find out that that person is not only not who you thought they were, but also someone who is vindictive and completely disrespectful. And as I said before, I really feel like this person is working to sabotage me and my reputation with others. I don't understand when a person behaves that way. And I know that plenty of us have experienced that in our lives. And I honestly feel like every time it happens, you think I would learn, right? You think I would learn to be a little more cautious and maybe not befriend people so easily and maybe not trust people so easily. You would think I would learn. And you would also think that I would learn over time to be able to spot those people. And when I think back, the sad part is that I think I do spot those people. I think I spot those people, and I think that there's a part of me that thinks that if I love them hard enough, they won't be that way to me. And I honestly, there's a big part of me that wants to just be so mad at them. Because I'm so frustrated because I really and truly thought once again that this person was a friend, was somebody that I could count on, somebody that I could go to, that I could confide in. Like I said, we shared stories, we shared laughs, we shared sadness, we shared so much. And we were kind to each other, and we really took care of each other for a while. And I just I don't understand what happened and why things changed, which is probably the hardest part. It's not like we had a falling out and then all of a sudden we're not friends anymore because whatever, let's get over that. That shit happens. Okay. It just does. Um, but I am finding more and more that people that I thought that I could count on are not those people. And people that it always seems to be people that I initially have hesitation about building a relationship with them. Friendship, a working relationship, whatever. It always seems to be people that I have this initial hesitation, and then I kind of override that for the sake of the connection that I eventually build with them. And then my stupid behind turns around and is surprised when they show me that they are the person that I originally thought they were. And I just cannot figure out for the life of me how I got to be nearly 50 years old and still struggle with listening to that inner voice that part of me that knows that this person is, like I said, disingenuous, and that, when you meet somebody and you're just like, yeah, they're all right, but there's not a part of you that desires a connection with them initially because you're kind of put off by who they are, but you override that and you say, circumstantially, we are in close proximity to each other, or we work together, or our kids are friends. And so we should definitely be, I should work to get along with this person, at the very least, get along with them. And you spend this time cultivating that relationship, right? And trying to find common ground, and trying to appreciate this person, and understanding that not everybody is your cup of tea, but you can appreciate somebody for who they are. And then eventually you kind of fall in love with them as part of your life, right? You kind of build this like need to have them around you, and this desire to have them around you. But it's not somebody you would have ever chosen to have a friendship with in any other circumstance. It's just because of your proximity to them. And, it's always easier to get along with the people you're close to in proximity. I mean, if you're already close to them, it's not always easy to get along with them either, but that's a whole nother thing. But when you are in close proximity to others, it's way easier to live life if those are people you get along with. But for me, what I end up doing is crossing that line from like just getting along with somebody and being cordial into really like desiring to love them and connect with them and want them to be, and to really want to be around them and to enjoy my time with them. And I really do build love for them in the process of trying to work to fit them into my life and to make sure that I'm, you know, being nice and that I'm connecting with them so that we have common ground and all of that. I end up falling in love with them. And then I'm always so devastated when they show their true colors. And their true colors is that whole fat effing rainbow that I saw when I first met them. I just don't understand. I don't understand any of it. One, I don't understand why people are jerks. I don't understand what is to be gained by that. Like, if you're a person who's been accused of that in your past, would you explain to me, please explain to me what it is that a person gets out of just being a jerk to other people? Like, I don't understand. I have zero frame of reference for that. There has not been one time in my life where I have met somebody and thought, you know what? That's the person. That's the person I'm going to be a jerk to. There's never been a time, not once. And and I just don't understand it. And I think a person who does that must have something sincerely broken in their heart. It's like people who self-medicate by like smoking and drinking and drugs and, all the things. When you self-medicate, which we all know that's what it is, right? I mean, I would feel like in this day and age, most people would know that's what it is. But when people who self-medicate by all this stuff, I almost feel like people who are just kind of naturally jerks to other people, that feeds a part of their soul, kind of like an addiction. Like they just don't They they are just, there's the cat. For those of you who appreciate the cat, there's the cat. I literally fed him, so I know he's not hungry. He's eaten less than a half an hour before now, and he's come down here to howl at me. I can't answer it. I don't know. Asmer, shh. Buddy, you already ate. I know, but you already ate. Anyway, as I said, I kind of feel like it feeds something in their soul to be mean. And I don't understand it because it's not something that does anything for me, but I also don't understand the use of marijuana and heroin and cocaine and all of those other things. I don't understand that either. So I wonder sometimes if, and just because I don't understand them doesn't mean they're the same thing, but I do feel like when you have an addictive personality, usually it's because there's something kind of broken in your heart. There's something in your soul that has some longing, and that addiction fills that longing, right? So I wonder if it's possible, and maybe somebody who studies psychology can tell me this. I wonder if it's possible that people who are just kind of naturally mean, who will lure you in with all of this like nicety and connection, and will allow you to put forth the effort to build a connection with you while always keeping you at arm's length, because when you look back on those relationships you realize that that person always kind of kept you at arm's length. I wonder if that, doing that in some way feeds their soul, in some way helps them feel better about themselves or about their situation. I don't know. I don't know. I have so many really great people in my life that are uplifting and encouraging and tell me endlessly how they appreciate me and they love me. And I really want to make it a goal for myself to listen to the, sorry, that's my phone, that water dropping sound. Um, I want to make a challenge for myself, and I challenge you all to do it with me. That when you see someone's true colors in the moment that you meet them, and you just know that that person is, there's something not right or something is just not connecting, that I'm I'm just going to try to not ignore this rainbow of true colors that they're showing me. I'm just going to like this myriad of color. Like I feel like some people show their true colors like a 64 crayon box, right? And it's in your face. Like they're showing you their true colors when they very first meet you. And I'm going to work to not ignore that anymore, and to be appreciative and thankful when a person shows me their true colors, that they've already shown me that, and that I can know going forward who that person is, and put my effort into the relationships I have with the beautiful people that I have in my life that I love so much, that have a special place in my heart, and that are so good and mean so much to me. I really think that that's my goal for myself, is to stop trying to put effort and time and energy into cultivating these relationships that are really truly toxic and tragic, and spend my time and energy cultivating the relationships that feed my soul in a healthy way. the people in your life that you talk to, that every single time you talk to them, you leave that conversation with a smile, even if it was a sad conversation, that you walk away from when you've gotten to spend time with them and you feel like you got a present from somebody because they spent their time with you and they took out a moment to talk to you, and I I feel there are people in my life that I feel like every single time I get to spend time with them or even talk to them on the phone or even just share a text message, that I got a gift. And and I love that. And I really think that going forward, my goal in my life, like I said, I'm almost 50, so maybe I'm gonna cross my fingers. I got less than a year, but maybe over the course of the next year, and it's probably like many other things, I'm going to have to keep working on it through my life. But maybe over, especially over like the next year or so, I can really put forth effort to really try to not let myself get sucked into the crappy relationships with people, to the ones that they've shown me their full 64 crayon box of colors, and I'm just gonna let that be what it is and try not to convince myself, and them for that matter, that they're different than what they're showing me. But just let them be who they are, respect them enough to let them be who they are, and respect myself enough to not put up with the crap later on down the road. To make sure that I am spending time and energy on the relationships that do feed my soul instead of breaking it down. And gosh, I I really hope that I can learn to not do this to myself again. And I'm not saying it's not going to happen, because, my heart wants to love people, apparently. So I'm sure it will happen again. But I'm really going to try to not let it. I'm really going to try to go forward feeling like I'm going to let people show me their colors. Their true colors. And I'm going to be okay with it, and I'm going to respect that for what it is. And I'm going to move forward not spending my time and energy on those people. Because, I mean, honestly, it's not fair to me that I've spent my time and energy trying to cultivate a relationship with somebody who's clearly not interested more times than I would like to count. Let's just say that. And it's not fair to them for me to keep asking them to be something they're not. If I really want to be the good person that I believe myself to be, then I need to stop trying to put unrealistic expectations on others. And that includes people who show me their true colors from the beginning. I did not do a craft today because I am very thoughtful about this subject. And to be honest, I'm a little bit more comfortable talking in front of the camera now than I was at the beginning. Boy, at the beginning, it was very nerve-wracking for me. So I I appreciate you all working through that with me. and um, and I can't say that I won't go back to doing crafts. But it's later in the evening today, and I am just feeling very contemplative about this entire thought process. And I thought, while I'm thinking about this, I'm going to reach out to my people, and I'm going to put it out there and see if somebody agrees or understands, or even cares for that matter. I hope you all are really well. And um, yeah, maybe if you decide to try it with me, maybe comment that you're doing it with me so that I can keep track of where you are. Because I would love that. I would love to do this together. It's always more fun to do something when you do it with a group or at least one other person. So if you think that this is something that you might want to do, that you might want to work really hard to not let these types of relationships invade your life, and you want to do it with me, I would love to do that with you. So please talk to me. Let me know. Okay. Um, I hope you are doing really well. As I said before, this is Jeanie with Messy in the Middle. We'll talk to you next week.